Welcome to Charlestown Live. Charlestown Live, Charlestown and Beyond. This is the news show. I'm Kathy Giordano, and I'm your host. It's great to have you with us tonight. And I want to get right into my guest tonight. I can't imagine this kid from Charlestown is sitting with a person who 2 days ago was in the White House, shook the hand and was hugged by the President of the United States. And here he is here with me tonight. Welcome, Mayor Martin Walsh.
Thank you very much.
I'm thrilled.
It's great to be here. Yeah, it was an honor this week to be at the White House with the President and the Vice President, Joe Biden, himself as well. Was there for their announcement on gun issues. It's sad that the response has been so negative to him by the Republican Congress in Washington. What the President announced was he was going to ask gun dealers who deal guns in America that they have to be registered and licensed, which makes sense to everybody, and that anyone they sell to would have a background check to make sure that they're not selling guns to, felons or terrorists or people who have some issues. And that was really the crux of what he talked about. And he also wanted gun dealers to report any loss of stolen guns, and it makes sense what he wants to do. And particularly when you look in Boston, we've had a very good year in the city of Boston when it comes to crime. We lost 38 people to homicide. It's a 16-year low, but 38 families were notified. The loved ones have been killed. The shootings have been up a little bit this year, but every other stat as far as crime has gone down in the city. And the gun stuff is something that we talk about every single day. There are young people in Charlestown that have lost their life due to guns. And we're looking for the support, and hopefully the President will get the support. But right now, he put the executive order in place. It's the law of the land, and hopefully gun dealers will live by it.
It's so reasonable to ask for this from the Congress, and it's just terrible that they drag their feet.
Well, they're trying to spin that gun owners are trying to say that not gun owners in Massachusetts, gun owners in Boston, gun owners around the country are trying to say that the President wants to take away people's rights to bear arms, and that's not what he said at all. He actually made it very clear the other night that was not his intention. His intention was to make sure that the guns that are happening to end up on our streets in Boston illegally, that they're not ending up in the hands of young people who don't know how to use them. And we want to try and curb that. And it's not going to fully answer the question, but it's going to help us a little bit with the issue of gun violence.
Oh, Mayor, I forgot to mention that this is a live call-in show, and you're more than encouraged to call in and talk with the Mayor. The number is 617-708-3290. Call in. Come on. Now, a lot is going on with the Boston Public Library, and you're having listening sessions on the new president. How are they going?
They're going very well. We have a committee put together going around and taking applications and talking to people about what they want to see in the new president of the library. We made some changes on the board. Some people stepped down. We have a new president on the board, Bob Gallery, formerly president of Bank of America, Massachusetts, so he's the new president. We have some good energy going on in the library, so hopefully we'll be able to continue the good momentum of the library, continue to invest in the library, not just Copley Library, but the local libraries as well.
Which are very important.
Yeah, we are.
We have a phone call.
Oh, God.
Hello, caller.
Hi, Kathy. It's Lynn Levesque.
Hi, Lynn Levesque. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Sorry that I may end up coughing, but I've wanted to ask the mayor if he wanted a chance to talk about the status of the casino.
The status of the casino.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. It's a very thank you, Lynn, for the call, and thank you for the standout you had at the Christmas tree lighting. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's a very complicated issue, as everyone in Charlestown knows. My position has been very clear from the very beginning that anything that happens in Charlestown or affects Charlestown, I'm going to stand up for Charlestown. The city of Boston went to court. The judge threw the court case out regarding the casino, but we're going to continue to make sure we're fighting for Charlestown. It's I don't want to say it's frustrating, but it's one of those things that the community that's going to be most impacted in the casino being built in Everett, or one of the most impacted communities is going to be Charlestown. And right now, if you go to Charlestown any night of the week, either getting into or out of Charlestown or through Charlestown, the traffic is tough. People are going through the neighborhoods in Charlestown where there's young kids and older people and families, and so we're sitting down with the state. We're working with this working group to try and come up with some solutions on how do we mitigate the traffic. But at the end of the day, the traffic is going to come down to if we can come up with some type of resolution are we going to be able to come up with a plan both for Rutherford Ave and for Sullivan Square and also have it paid for? It's easy to come up with a plan. I can come up with a plan tomorrow. The city came up with a plan 20 years ago that people are still talking about, but there was no actual money there. So we're working with the elected officials, with the congressman and the state senator and the state representative and the city councilor and myself to see how we move forward. Now, we're kind of in a limbo area right now. There are conversations going on. I've had conversations with the Wynn folks, but we haven't finalized anything, and we're moving forward. I don't know what to say, what the final answer will be right now, because, in the very beginning, every time we kind of tried to come up with some solutions, we had a roadblock put in front of us. Yes. We tried to go around the roadblocks, but the last one was the court case. So we'll see what happens.
And Charlestown is so grateful to you, Mayor, sincerely, on everything you've done on our behalf and continue to do.
No, I appreciate it. And as I said before, when I was campaigning as mayor, I loved Charlestown, fell in love with the place, and I spend a lot of time in Charlestown now, and I'm going to continue to fight for Charlestown. I'll fight for any neighborhood in the city of Boston,
Yes,
and I'll make sure I advocate very strongly for them. But people in Charlestown have a real good spirit.
We do. You have another call?
Oh, okay.
Hello, caller.
Hello there. How are you, my friend?
Oh, Jean Tuckerman, how are you?
I'm hanging in. Am I going to get another cup cookie?
Yes, you will. Well, yeah, okay. I'll have to make up new cups that says Charlestown and Beyond. Yes.
There you go. I have a couple of comments to my dear friend, our mayor. The thing with the guns, I'm for anything that will stop this senseless killing on the streets. The guns that look so real, the fake ones, and then the attitude that a youngster might have looks really professional. I mean, it really looks like they've got the real thing. They see so much on TV. It shows them how to handle a gun, how to be aggressive with it, and no wonder these poor kids are getting shot right and left. Another question I have is, the Boston Seniority magazine. I missed the issue that Charlestown Pride Week was printed in, and I was wondering how I can get a copy of that. And my other comment, I have one comment. When you call City Hall, they answer, "Hello, City Hall." And I'm thinking, wouldn't good morning, City Hall, be much nicer?
Well, thank you for that. Let me start from the last point to the front.
All right.
The last point is people are supposed to say good morning, City Hall, good afternoon, City Hall, good evening, City Hall. And I'll make sure I'll get on top of that. We have a lot of co-op students that work with us, answering the phone. So it could be a new person that just took over, but I know that Niall Murphy, who runs that office, does an incredible job, and I will make sure Niall knows tomorrow of the concern. The second piece, or the first piece, I guess, the question on the guns is we passed an ordinance in the city of Boston to ban replica handguns. These handguns don't only look real, they feel real. And if you pick them up, they're very heavy. And we banned it. And State Representative Danny Cullinane from Dorchester filed legislation that would make sure that any replica handgun would have an orange tip on it or an orange stripe on it so people would see, because we had a young boy that was killed in Cleveland who was 12 years old, who had a replica gun, pointed it. The police officer thought it was a real gun. They shot him. He got killed, and we have to do more about that to make sure that we take care of that. And the third point was, what was the third point? What was your third point, Jean?
The elderly commission.
The third point was...
Call Tom McKay, and we'll make sure we get you a magazine.
Oh, I love you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Great.
Well, both of you.
Happy
Bye-bye.
New Year, Jean.
Bye-bye.
Now, see that? Come on, folks. Call in and talk with the mayor. It is great. It is great. You recently announced applications are now available for those interested in obtaining a position on 2016 1 and 3 Council for young adults.
Yeah, the 1 and 3 Council was formulated in the City Hall several years ago. It's to really have young people. A third of our population is between the ages of 20 and 30 years old, and getting them involved in the process. So the deadlines are through January 31st. You can go online, you can call City Hall, and you can get this application. And it's a great organization, really, to come up with some different ideas, and young people get together and kind of brainstorm about what the future of the city is. And it's important to get young people engaged in City Hall, and it's a great way of doing it.
Okay, an executive order was signed by you prompting changes in the City of Boston's inclusionary development policy, leveraging the private development market to ensure the continued development of affordable housing.
This gets to the heart of the issue that you and I spoke to off air about creating more affordable housing for people. And one of the things that we've done in the City of Boston is we put out a housing plan to create 53,000 units of new housing by the year 2030. There's different elements of that plan, but one of the elements is how do you pay for it? And inclusionary development is when somebody builds these high-end condominium units, whether it's in a community of Lake Charlestown or in a skyscraper in downtown Boston. And there's a 13% affordable set aside, which means that 13% of the development has to be affordable on site. What we've done, we've broken the city into 3 zones, A, B, and C. Charlestown happens to be in B, A being in downtown, and C is like places where the value of property is not as high. And we're asking people that if they want to build affordable housing off-site, which a lot of people tend to go off-site with it, they're going to have to pay 18%.
Ooh, good.
So, which means that the way it works in Charlestown now is that if somebody's going to build 10 condo units, hypothetically, I might have it not have it completely accurate, but I'll give you a hypothetical. And they want to build 10 units, and they want to put the affordable off-site, they would have to make a payment of about $200,000 to go into a fund to build off-site. We're increasing that. 18% would be $300,000. So it gives us more money to leverage to build more off-site property. It's one piece of it's not going to break the bank as far as the development community goes, but it's also not everyone's really happy with it, but it is more revenue that we're going to be able to generate to build more off-site housing, and that's one piece of it. Another piece is how do we this year we've had more housing starts, meaning more construction starts than ever before in the city of Boston. Where we started new housing, we completed more units, 3,400 new units in the city, more than we've ever completed in a particular year. And we have more affordable units under construction right now, 1,022, and it's the highest since 2001.
Great.
So we're working. It's not the answer to everything, but we're starting to see a little bit of stabilization of rents in the city with some of the neighborhoods. And you know, Charlestown is one of those neighborhoods. It's a very, as I said earlier, it's a very exciting neighborhood, a very hot neighborhood. A lot of people, unfortunately, are being priced out.
Yes.
And as houses go from having longtime landlords who kept the rents stabilized, and then somebody comes in and buys it and puts the rent way up, we're trying to stabilize some of that so we can keep the fabric of a lot of communities, whether it's Charlestown, South Boston, Roxbury, Dorchester, different parts of the city of Boston.
Yeah, that's vital.
Yeah.
But you know, if you have someone that owned the house for a long time, and the first floor apartment became vacant, you can't expect them to charge a cheap rent with the price of everything else going up.
No, but some of the rents are going, like, I mean, I can speak from, you know, some people I know. My mother, for example, and she has a 3-family in Dorchester, and she doesn't really rent her house out anymore. But when she did, the woman on the second floor had been there for 35 years, and the rent never really changed. It was all, I think it was $400, and it stayed $400. But you don't have that today. And what's happening today in the same neighborhood I just mentioned, my mother's neighborhood, my mother's street, as a matter of fact, this apartment's going for $2,400 a month for rent, which is a lot of money with no parking. No front, no backyard, but young people want to live in the city. So we have to figure out how do we continue to have the young people come into the city, because it's important for the vibrancy of our city, but also keep that neighborhood feel to it.
That's right, and that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. I heard some great news recently that you were involved in creating a park, a hockey rink for Ryan Morrissey.
Yep.
Can you talk about that?
Well, the Winter Classic, they just played at Gillette Stadium, and the NHL, the National Hockey League, and the Boston Bruins and the City of Boston collaborated to redo the hockey rink and create a brand new state-of-the-art, probably the best of its kind that I've ever seen, street hockey rink, and it's in Charlestown. With lights, a scoreboard, real boards around the edges, and the kids that are watching this already know about it. When I went in there, I was really jealous because when I was a kid, we used to put milk crates on the street and try and shoot the ball to the milk crates. But it was, you know, Charlestown's a huge hockey town, and it's a great community, and they were able to make the investment. It was part of the Winter Classic, giving back to the community. So even though the Bruins didn't play that well in the Winter Classic, we have a brand new hockey rink, street hockey rink in Charlestown, which is great.
And dedicated to Ryan Morrissey, which is important.
And Ryan's uncle was there that day,
Oh,
so it was,
that's
it was very emotional for him.
We have another phone call.
Oh, okay.
Hello, caller.
Hello, Cookie. Hello, Mr. Mayor. I was just calling to see what the mayor had to say about stopping bullying in schools.
Okay.
Well, I mean, is it a public school or a private school?
It's a public school.
Okay,
Boston
not that
Public
it
Schools.
matters. But no, certainly we have a program in the Boston Public Schools. You know, certainly it's something that I don't stand for, and it's, you know, it's tough. I mean, today, unbelievable with social media, with Twitter and Facebook, and we're talking about young kids now. I don't know what age you're talking about, but the bullying that's going on in schools is not just in Boston, but it's incredible across the state and the country. So certainly I'm working with the superintendent to come up with good policies to make sure that it doesn't happen in our schools. You know, it's a terrible thing for a kid to have to go to school every day and worry about being bullied. They don't want to go to school. They get sick.
Yes.
Other issues come from it. If you know, if this is a particular case, I would suggest that you contact the principal of the school, but you can also call my office, the mayor's office. If it's in Charlestown, you can call Tom McKay, or if it's anywhere in the city of Boston, call the Office of Neighborhood Services. Let us know what's happening, and I will address it.
That's great.
All right, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah, no,
Thank you.
it's sad. I mean, when
It
you
is
talk
sad.
to kids that are getting bullied, they don't know what to do, and you know, kids are kids. But you know, with today, even today, with social media, it's just, and with texting and phones, it's just really bad.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Do we dare talk about snow?
Well, we had 2
Will
inches.
we
the
curse
other day.
ourselves?
I hope not. A year ago this time, I was looking and saying that we really didn't spend much money on the budget, and what do we do with the extra money? And then 10 feet later, I was like, you know, $40 million, it wasn't fun. Well, a couple things about snow. Number one is, anybody who's listening today, you know, I think we talked about it last show we're on, but when you call the City Hall, we have a new number. It's a 311. You just dial 311 on your phone. You get connected right to City Hall. The old number still works, 635-4500, but we're converting over to a 311 system. Those of you that have smartphones, we ask you to download the app, the 311 app. It's the old Citizens Connect, and you can report a lot online, and we send you back pictures when it's completed. So that's one thing. One thing we learned last year with the snow was, with the amount of snow we had, you know, historically in Boston, we've snow plowed.
Yeah.
And we've plowed snow, which means you push it. And we had to bring in trucks last year to take the snow off the street, because the corners were high and it was cold, and you know, we never really got a chance to get ahead of any storm because we got hit with a blizzard. Then 5 days later we got hit with another foot and a half of snow, and we just got hit 3 or 4 weekends in a row. It actually snowed 10 straight weekends in the city. So what we did was rather than buy snow melters, which we can rent, we bought truck-mounted snow blowers. So what we're gonna see on main thoroughfares this year, as the snow gets pushed from the side streets onto the main thoroughfares, we're actually gonna be removing the snow off the street.
Wow.
So that situation of having snow packed on the corner shouldn't happen as much. Now, we only bought 2 of them for the entire city, but every year in the budget we're gonna buy more of them. It's more of the Montreal model where they remove snow rather than push snow.
Yes.
I'm hoping we don't have to use them. We didn't have to use them in the first 2 storms. The year before last, I mean, everyone in Charlestown and other places said we did a great job.
Yes, you did.
We're on top of it, and last year we just couldn't get ahead of it. But if we get a situation where we get a blizzard or 6 or 8 inches of snow, which we probably will, we're going to be removing snow. We have snow farms set up around the city where we're going to be bringing the snow to the snow farms, melting the snow if we need to over there. Last year's snow, the last flake of snow melted on July 17th, I believe it was, which is incredible when you think about what happened. But we really got belted last year. And
we did.
I mean, we put money in the budget this year. We have more salt than we had last year. We have the trucks ready to go. We have the staff ready to go. We have the people ready to go. So I'm hoping that they don't go. But if they do, we have a system in place that's gonna be but we're well prepared for. One other thing I'll say about the snow. Last year, what we did was we reacted. So we send people notifications after the snow. What we're going to try to do this year is be ahead of the snow.
Oh, good.
So if we know there's a snowstorm coming, we're going to notify everyone to be prepared for it. If it doesn't happen, the snowstorm, that's okay. I'd rather be prepared and not have it happen than have it happen and not be prepared.
Even the kids in school had a lot of days off, too.
Yeah, we had
that
to
they
make up
really-
one day. Unfortunately, it was Bunker Hill Day.
Yeah.
We made up, but we had a couple other days in line. And this year, the school started a little earlier, so hopefully we won't have to make any days up.
That's great. What can you do?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. I
You
mean,
gotta have
they
kids
missed 8
safe.
days of school last year, which
Yeah.
the kids loved me last year. If they could vote, I would be all right.
Yeah, but you can't have them waiting on the corner for a school bus that they can't climb over the snowplow to get into.
No,
or
it's
anything.
dangerous also.
It is
I mean, it's too
dangerous,
especially, I mean, Charlestown's a tight neighborhood, and
Yeah.
there was some streets that really, you know, with the parking situation, and people didn't dig their cars out for months, and they left them there, and, you know, so it makes it a very dangerous situation.
What do you think about the new city council this year and the new president?
I'm happy, you know, Michelle Wu's been in office now for about, today's Thursday,
long as
4
you.
days.
Yeah,
And she's
as
been as long as
president.
she got sworn in. I mean, I think, you know, she set a great agenda. She did
Yeah.
a great job at her swearing-in ceremony, her election. She was elected unanimously, which was great. I'm excited for her. You know, she's a great young leader in the city of Boston, and you know, she has some great ideas, and we've already talked several times on the phone, and we have 2 new city councilors, one a new citywide city councilor, Nisa Sabi George, who I've known for a long time. She actually grew up on the same street I did.
Dorchester, right, yeah.
So she's very excited about it and excited about getting into the schools and talking about some activity.
Good.
And in Andrea Campbell, District 4, which is in Mattapan, Dorchester, she's also very excited about it. So I'm excited about what's going to happen this year. We have a great relationship with the council. As I said to them on Monday, we don't have to agree on every issue, but it's important to have a good, strong city council because that's a lot of people's advocacy into the city government. And so, I come out of a legislative body, so I understand their concerns, but we're going to continue to work together. We have some great work planned for the year. I look forward to it.
I have about a minute left.
Yep.
Anything you want to mention?
No, I'm trying to think. It's early. Hopefully we get no snow.
Yes.
If anyone has any concerns or questions about Charlestown, please call 311. 311 is the number. Let us know what's out there. If you have anything you want to give us. If people have ideas about different things in city government, it doesn't have to be a complaint. It can be just if you have an idea about how to do something, call 311. Let us know your ideas. I think that's important as well. And just let people in Charleston know I love them, and I'm going to continue to represent them as strong as I can.
And we're so happy that you are
Thank
where
you.
you are.
Thank you.
And stay there for a long time.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And in closing, as with every show, I want to boost my favorite project, Harvest on Vine, the food pantry in Charlestown. And I talked with the director, Tom McDonald, yesterday, and he informed me that the big need right now is rice and hot soup. You know, when you go into the grocery, you pick up an extra can of tomato soup, beef noodle, whatever. And even better if you can pick up a can of raviolis or SpaghettiOs or roast beef or a roast beef hash or stew. You know, a lot of people don't have a lot of money, and one of the things they have to sacrifice is their heat, so they keep the heat down low so they can afford it, and they're cold. So what can warm us up better than a hot bowl of soup? Doesn't cost much, folks. So, and you can drop these donations off at the Cooperative Bank at 201 Main Street. And also, you can send a donation. You know, figure out how much a can of soup costs and maybe double that cost and send a donation to Harvest on Vine, 49 Vine Street in Charlestown. And this goes for any and every food pantry across the city of Boston. The need is there. Please help. Thank you. So that's it for this week's program. It's been a pleasure to be in your homes, and I look forward to the next time we meet. And Charlestown, remember, take care of each other. Good night.